Well, we're back again for the Well Below Average podcast, and I'm not making eye contact again. I'm Adam Ish. This is Nick Nepic, and we are here again. How's everything going, Nick? It's been a bad sports weekend for you.
Yeah, it has. I'm wearing black because of that. It's a sad day, sad weekend for the sports. So hopefully the podcast is a pick-me-up, but we keep expectations pretty low. So the likelihood is that I'll just stay pretty low the entire time. I don't have high hopes for myself today. Hopefully you can carry the show.
Well, I'll carry it pretty poorly. I'm really bad at superlatives. I always think I'm going to say something clever, and then it just, it doesn't work out. But we do have a good show.
Same adjective.
Yes. We have a good show. We're going to do our news as always. We're going to talk a little bit about some football, preview very badly the Cowboys Monday Night Football game. We got some Satnam Singh talk, one of your most favorite basketball players of all time.
Yes. Yeah.
We will have our debate show and something you brought up a couple of weeks ago, mentioning my time working at Domino's Pizza. I'm going to give us a Tales from the Pizza Man. So I may mix that in every now and again, and I may have some banana facts this week as well. So
Okay.
We got an action-packed show, and we're going to have a special guest to continue our debate from last week over Q-tips. We're going to have Jonathan Shippy Shipman of the Dallas Stars, Ben and Skin Show. I don't know what he does about 100 things, but he's going to be on here to tell us the Q-tip story here in a little bit. But let's get to our sponsors real quick, and I'll start us off with Local Menace. Local Menace is a Dallas-based, artist-owned streetwear brand hell-bent on destroying your wardrobe. We have one of my favorite shirts here. I don't know if it'll show up on the YouTube because it cuts us down, but my favorite design here. And they have all kinds of hats, buttons, stickers, T-shirts, anything you could think of for your wardrobe. Christmas is coming up, so go to localmenace.com. Do yourself a favor. Find something you love for somebody you love, some awesome streetwear gear, and use discount code BEARDCREW for 25% off. Save you some money on your Christmas shopping. Again, that's localmenace.com. Tell them we sent you.
Is it ever too early to Christmas shop?
Yes.
Okay. When is it okay to start Christmas shopping? For me, this is still way too early. I think October, late October is really that's when it's okay. Not even, okay, maybe not late October. Early October, you're good to start Christmas shopping, especially if you're getting something that's a little more significant, a little bigger, you got to get it shipped, you got to, whatever it might be. You could start in October, but it's still a bit too early to Christmas shop for me. I don't know about you.
So I would say I agreed with you for a long time, but as your family grows, you will find that October, November really is not enough time. When your daughter starts talking, she's going to ask you for stuff all year long, and you got to start listening about July, August.
Right.
And then you got to jump on it because it's going to change, and you at a point you got to kind of have your own cutoff with your kids. So yeah, it's easy to forget because you're like, okay, yeah, I really want this in September. And you're sitting there in November. What did they say? I forget.
And if they mention it after Thanksgiving, sorry, we've already got the big stuff. You're getting some stocking stuffers the final month of the year here, but we can't get that. Yeah, I can see that and I can accept that, but I know some people that buy stuff in July, and I guess if you can get a really good deal, then why not? But then you have to store it forever. So a little out on Christmas shopping that early. I was at Sam's a couple of weeks ago, and they already had some Christmas decorations and things out. in early September, which just disgusts me. So, yeah, a little too early to Christmas shop, but, whatever works for you. I'll go ahead and mention our other sponsor, one of our other sponsors, I should say, behind Adam's YouTube left/right shoulder. Rodeo Coffee, small batch roasted right here in Fort Worth. Find them on Instagram, find them on Facebook. They are brewing, I should say roasting, phenomenal beans so you can brew phenomenal coffee. They're all over the place, shops every weekend, farmers markets, all those things. Find out where they're going to be. Buy a bag of coffee. You can also get it online and get one of those cool T-shirts as well. But shout out to Rodeo Coffee, one of our sponsors here at the Well Below Average podcast.
Yeah, I finally broke into my bag this weekend. It's very good. The Colombian roast, a little lighter than I'm used to. But man, it's really packed with flavor. I really enjoy it. I drink my coffee black, as everyone should. And,
yep, I agree.
It was.
It's an easy drink. It's a coffee that you can have multiple cups of it. It's easy. It's not gonna overwhelm you, especially if you're a novice coffee drinker. Even if you put cream in your coffee, even if it's like the flavored stuff that's like candy, like my wife, she loves it as well. So pairs well with that, even if you're not a black coffee drinker. So check them out.
Yes. Thank you to all our sponsors, and don't forget Ish Beard Works. And I want to talk a little bit about a giveaway we're going to do before we get into our debate stuff. We're looking to grow our YouTube channel, so anybody that's listening, we're getting good amount of listens. I think really picked up since we've done YouTube. Please share our show, like, and subscribe. We are going to do through Christmas. My goal is to get 500 subscribers. I've talked with Local Menace. We're going to talk to Rodeo Coffee and Ish Beard Works, great owner there, are all going to pledge. So we're going to get you a T-shirt, a bag of coffee, and a $20 gift card to Ish Beard Works online store. We're going to do a giveaway at 500. So when we have 500 subs, we're going to pick one random subscriber for our YouTube channel to get that as a Christmas gift. We want to do this by Christmas. We want to hit 500 subscribers. We're going to share it on our social media. Nick's going to tweet about it.
I will. I will pick up my tweeting during the week. That's what I need to do. And maybe, maybe we'll, I don't know, maybe we could spice it up some way, involve social media beyond just subscriptions. I don't know. Have some fun with it, but, be a giveaway coming up. So we've got time. You got time to tell people about it. But yeah, that's around the corner.
Yeah, so help us out. Help us grow the show. If you like it, share with your friends. And yeah, so enough of that talk. We're going to pick up on our, debate from last week. We had a disagreement. One of the first times we've really been on the opposite side of the fence on the Q-tip talk. You hit me with a story concerning one of our friends, Jonathan Shipman, who filled in for you a few weeks ago as a co-host, been on before, and we're going to get him on here momentarily to give a gruesome Q-tip story about when he impaled his brain or something. Is that what I'm...
Yeah, I will leave the details up to him, but this story, and now let me be clear, before I heard this story, I was anti, Q-tip, cleaning up ears. Didn't want to do it. You're not supposed to do it. You shouldn't do it. But what Shippy is about to explain drove that point home. It's unsafe and it can lead to serious injury. And we will hear that from him. And thankfully, he recovered okay. I mean, I don't think there are any long-term effects. We'll find out. So, this is a first-hand account of why you shouldn't do what Adam does on a daily basis? Clean out your ears with a Q-tip?
Not daily. 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. On a regular basis, why you shouldn't do that. So, Shippy will share all the details with us. But Yeah, we'll pick it up. Are we gonna? Do we have any other debate that we are going to do, or is this going to carry the debate?
We could carry to the debate. I did text you
Okay.
earlier about a Halloween one, but I think we can move that a little closer to Halloween. So let's get Shippy on here.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Joining us now is Jonathan Shippy Shipman. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing awesome.
They're great.
You guys see the football today?
I only watched Thursday night football.
Yeah, especially when it features the Texans. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what they've been doing down there in Houston, but you can tune into my my podcast that I am about to start called Talking to Texans. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure it's going to win a lot of Emmys.
I think so. Local podcast Emmys. That's what you're
Yes.
gonna win.
Yeah. I'm actually on the goes out.
Well, Shippy, you're moving today, right? We caught you in the middle of a move.
Not today. I'm moving on Thursday, actually. I'm about to move out on my own for the first time ever. So
like live by yourself?
I've never lived by myself.
Me neither.
I'm scared, Nick.
I would be too, honestly. I've always had my parents, a roommate, a wife, now a baby. Like I've never lived alone.
That'd be weird
if how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how the baby would pay rent though.
Maybe you could work on that.
Give him to work.
Yeah.
Is your baby not on mow lawns yet?
Yeah, we worked on that today. So they better have it down by next week or they're out of here.
Yeah. You got to keep them in line. That's what I've been told.
Exactly.
Well, I lived on my own in my early 20s, and I've missed it ever since. It was a beautiful time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna need to get a dog or something. I gotta have something going on. I don't know.
Get a cat. You're gone so much. Get a cat. Cats take care of themselves.
Yeah, I thought about cats, but I don't know. Maybe a cat would be cool, but I don't know. I just like dogs. Dogs are better. But you're right. They're super needy.
Mm-hmm.
Super needy.
Yes.
So I don't know.
My dog's pretty needy. Well, we didn't bring you on to talk about dogs, moving, or kids. Last week we had we do a debate segment, and for the first time ever, Nick and I were in a total disagreement on the proper use of Q-tips.
Oh.
I am pro use directly into the ear. I am a skilled Q-tipper.
Mm-hmm.
I have years and years of practice. So
Yeah.
Nick is anti-Q-tip, but went on to tell a little story about you impaling your brain, and we wanted to get you on here to see if you could sway me away from my Q-tip use.
So, you know what the best part about this is? This story has actually happened to me 2 different times in my life. Yeah. It was pretty much the exact same thing both times. So here's what happens. Okay, I'm kind of one of those people I like to do too much at one time, or I'm, just very. I haven't gone to a doctor to be diagnosed with this, but I'm pretty sure I've got ADHD. It just makes sense the more I read about it. But so one time when I was in middle school, I was getting ready to go to school, or no, I was in high school, junior high, 9th or 10th grade. And I was just cleaning my ears, hanging out before school, because I like cleaning my ears, it feels good. And I turned, because I was once again I don't know what I was doing, but I was just doing too much. And I turned and my arm hit something and just went like this and impaled my brain. And I was oh gosh, that hurt really bad. So I'm all right, well I guess I gotta go to school. So I got in my whatever my carpool was at the time, go to school, and I'm I remember I was sitting in biology in the first period, and it felt like I had water in my ear, and I was what in the world? And so I kind of went like this and just tried to get it out or whatever. When I pulled my thumb out, it was blood all over, and I was oh man, I think I messed up. So I called my biology teacher over. I was hey, this is coming out of my ear, and I told her my story. And so the same exact thing happened years, this is maybe 3 or 4 years ago now. It was before I was getting ready for work at 105.3 The Fan. I was once again just got out of the shower, cleaning my ears again. And after that first time, the doctor told me, like, really, you're not supposed to clean your ears like that with the Q-tip. Like, it's really not healthy. Like, there's other ways. I forgot what they were. But there's other ways I was supposed to do it instead of that. And I continue, by the way, to use Q-tips because Danger is my middle name. But
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you.
Jonathan Danger Shipman. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I was getting ready for work though, and like same thing happened. Like I was like cleaning my ears, and I think like Guardians of the Galaxy had just come out, and I was listening to their soundtrack because that's a great soundtrack. And so like I was just cleaning my ears, and I turned and like I was sitting in front of a mirror, and like to my right is a wall right here, and then there's my bathroom was right there, and I don't know why I was going in there. Because, like, I just pace around. Like, it's really weird. I just can't sit still. And I turned, and, like, once again, my elbow hit the side of the wall and just went like this. And I was like, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, man. And it's the same ear both times. Like,
wow.
I don't know what I have against my right ear. But I've had a personal agenda ever since I was in high school against it. But, yeah, I turned my right arm, and I jammed it into the wall on accident, and it just poked me right in the ear again. And I was like, oh, crap. I was like, man, I really hope it doesn't bleed again. Well, then it, like, starts. I can feel it when I'm driving on my way to work. I'm like, oh, man. I was like, pretty sure my ear is bleeding right now. Like, I just remembered that feeling from, years before. And then, but I get to work, and, like, my ear's bleeding, and I can tell. And I'm like, well, I mean, in radio, like, you have to have, like, a severed foot to, like, miss. Like, even if you want to use your vacation time, you've got to, like, you gotta have, like, a foot that you're losing. Like, hey, guys, like, I need to take a vacation day. Like, got to get rid of my right foot. So, I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Normally, we wouldn't grant you the vacation day that you earn and as part of your package, all that good stuff. But you know what? We'll let it slide this one time. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, they're going to hate me if I miss a day at work, because I poked myself in the brain with a Q-tip. And then so our assistant program director, Tim Collins, came in the room. And I had, like, all these paper towels next to me that I was just periodically, like just trying to stop the bleeding every once in a while. But I was still, like, wearing the headphones and still doing a radio show and all this stuff. And he was like, Shippy, why do you have all these paper towels in here? I was like, oh, yeah, man. I was like, man, I was getting ready. I was doing the Q-tip thing, cleaning my ears. And, I hit my arm, and it, stabbed me in the brain, and now it's bleeding. And, I know you weren't going to give me time off. So I was like, I knew I had to power through it and, go to work. And, unless it's I'm missing a foot or an arm or something, I can't call into the radio. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't think I can't remember if he let me go. I think he did call somebody up and, like, had me go to the doctor, though, because it was, like, it's a pretty big deal when your ear is bleeding. Like, it's not fun. It's not comfortable, that's for sure. And the worst part is, like, so after that, the recovery period, I had these drops that I had to put, and I didn't have to do this the first time I did it. Like, so I think the second time I did it way worse than the first time. Because, like, I would have to, like, I couldn't hear out of this ear for the longest time, like 3 or 4 days. And then I remember, like, I had to put these drops in it. I had to put, like, a bandage thing over it and do all these different procedures to, like, dry all the blood up in there. And then I had to go back to the ear doctor guy, and he went in there and, like, got all of it out, and oh my God, you want to talk about something painful? You do not want anything in your ear to mess up and him have to go in and dig. Like, that's a very sensitive, and it was like all like scabby kind of too. So he's like really really digging in there, and like I'm just sitting there and trying not to like cuss him out. I know it was my fault, not his fault, but he was the one that was inflicting the pain on me at the time. But
yeah, right.
I was doing everything I could not to just cuss the guy out, but yeah, I still use Q-tips though. I just make sure I stay stationary now. And it took 2 times of me making that same mistake for me to learn my lesson.
Now, does it hurt like when it happened? Like,
oh yeah,
okay, yeah,
dude. It's like it's an immediate like, dude. It's weird like where you feel it. Like, it's like really in there. Like both times, because like. I mean, you know how far you can go back if you don't bump your arm? But when you do bump your arm for that extra, like, I don't know, inch or inch and a half into your ear, like, it gets pretty, it's really painful. And so once it happens, like the second time when it happened, I was like, oh man, I just hope it doesn't start bleeding. Like, there's no way. And I knew if I called in, like, hey Tim, like I was cleaning my ears with Q-tips, and like now my ear's bleeding. Like he's gonna be like, dude, what the hell? Like, what? Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, it doesn't even sound like a real story because who injures themselves with Q-tips like that? But I do. I do that to myself.
Okay. So twice injured with a Q-tip, and I appreciate, like, I really respect the stick-to-itiveness. You really, you hung with it. You're still using the Q-tips, so
you can't hold me down.
I'm not swayed. I'm still a pro Q-tip in the ear guy.
Yeah. I know. So what do you like, Nick? What do you do if you don't use Q-tips? Like, how do you clean your ears? Do you just have your earphones in like that?
I think the rule is like you're not anything like bigger than or smaller than your finger, like your pointer finger. I think is what you're not supposed to do. So like you get a towel and you can like kind of clean in there.
You know what? I think that's what he told me is put like some like toilet paper on there and just reach in there because you really aren't supposed to go all the way back there.
Yeah, right. So yeah, basically just do that, and I've never had any problems. So
yeah, but see,
I'm in the minority that my wife also uses Q-tips to clean her ears. So maybe the man is just trying to get us not to because it works so well. I don't know.
Dude, maybe the man's trying not to have us hear everything as good.
Maybe.
I don't know. But the other problem is when you buy a thing of Q-tips, like you can't just buy a pack of like 20 Q-tips. They come with like 1,000 of them. So like I have like the same box of Q-tips I think that I've been using for like the last 4 years, like just one of those big value packs, and you don't run out of them. Like I'm pretty sure somebody like goes in there and replenishes them because I've been using them for forever, and I feel like I'm at the same spot with that with that box of Q-tips.
We go through so many Q-tips in my house. There's 5 of us here, so it's I don't know what everybody uses them for. I use them for like 2 things.
If you don't use them to clean out your ears, what is the use of a Q-tip?
Can't you like swab stuff with it, kind of? Like if you put like some Neosporin on it or something?
Oh, I guess yeah.
Like maybe.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't usually really use Neosporin. I just kind of let it figure itself out.
Do girls use it for makeup? Is it a makeup thing?
I don't know. What does the Q stand for, anyways?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Man.
QAnon.
What is?
That's why they don't want us to use it in our ears because we'll hear all the secrets.
Maybe so.
Let's see here. The Q stands for quality.
Okay. Quality tip. I mean,
and that's what we're giving right now is some quality tips about how to use or not use your Q-tips. I'm just gonna start calling them quality tips and just see what people say. Like, hey, do you have any quality tips I can borrow? And they're like, you need some like advice or what's like? No, I need to clean my ears. All right. So
you need to change your DJ name to DJ Quality Tip.
Dude.
But rather than a Shippy fun fact, Shippy quality tips, right?
Shippy quality tip. Yeah. Dang
There's
it.
a podcast idea right there.
Like they're not that good. Like they're not great, but they're quality.
Quality, yeah. It's always better to undersell and over deliver.
Exactly.
You never want to overhype anything. Ever.
Well, we could never ever overhype Shippy enough. Shippy, tell us where you're going to be at this week. Got any DJing events?
Yeah, so on Monday, after Cowboys Eagles, I'll be DJing at Punk Society in Deep Ellum. Then Wednesday, September 29th, we have our first Dallas Stars preseason game at home. So I get to do my first preseason game ever. Because last year I just did regular season games. That was it. So it'd be kind of nice to get back in the swing of things there. And then on Thursday, I'm at Clover Club in Dallas off of Maple and Cedar Springs. And then Saturday, I will be at Twisted Chick in Uptown on McKinney Avenue. So, and then that's it, I think. And I'm moving on Thursday, so if any listeners want to help me move. I got paid for move, but more.
You might not pay them, but you'll give them some quality tips.
Yeah, I'll get. Yeah. You put in the effort. I'll give you some quality tips.
There you go. It's like life hacks, but better.
Exactly.
Well, Shippy, we appreciate you. We don't want to just usher you off. Everybody follow Shippy on Instagram. It's Shippy Spins on
Yep,
Instagram and Twitter now.
At Shippy Spins on Instagram and Twitter. And please tweet at verified and tell them I need my blue check mark back.
There we go. So everybody find Shippy out there on the what?
I'm gonna fight him. I don't know who's
Yeah,
find him, and I'm gonna fight him.
All right.
Let
us know.
Yeah, you get them. But thank you for your time, Shippy. Find Shippy on the social medias and go listen to him party all night, all week.
Yeah.
All right.
See
Thank
you
you very much, man. Bye.
Bye, love you guys.
And there he goes, Jonathan Shippy Shipman. I thought I would have an ally in the Q-tip debate. I do not, and hopefully those stories sway others because it hasn't swayed Shippy. So here we are.
No, it hasn't. Appreciate him jumping on, but let's get into our show. And one of the things I really want to talk about is Satnam Singh. You have not had the kindest words for this 7'3" Indian behemoth.
So we were talking before the show. You were like, Nick hates it. We were looking, just going through what we're going to talk about. This is going to come. I know. I'm just going to tell you now. What we are going to talk about is going to lead into a Nick hates it. We're just going to combine these things because, no offense to Satnam Singh the person, I've met him. Very nice. I don't hate him, but go ahead and my vitriol will come forth for Satnam Singh, whose name we probably shouldn't even know, quite frankly. But go ahead.
So, 2 points I want to make. He's relevant, and the reason I notice him, he's relevant this week in the media is because he signed a contract to wrestle in the AEW. He will be a professional wrestler now.
Okay.
So,
what is the AEW? Like WWE? What's the level here?
So many people saying it's overtaking WWE.
Okay. I've seen this. I've seen some of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the top talent has left WWE, gone to AEW. They're on TNT on Wednesday nights. Yeah, they're really growing as a brand, and this may be a bit for them. But you mentioned you called, and I remember this. You called out the Mavericks for drafting Satnam Singh, calling it a bit. And
it certainly was. Yeah,
so this is where so I looked this up a while ago, and I haven't brought it up, but I looked up the draft that year, the 2015 draft. Mavericks drafted Singh, the 52nd overall pick in the second round. But here's the thing. Norman Powell was drafted the 46th pick, and he's still playing in the NBA. That's the 46th pick. That is the last player from that draft in that order. No one after him played more than a handful of minutes in the NBA, and that was only two people. Almost every pick after the 46th pick, they didn't even make it out of the G League. So while it may be a bit, I'm going to defend the Mavericks by saying there was literally nothing else to draft at that point in the draft.
There was plenty. The problem is this. Satnam Singh, okay, he did make it in the NBA. He barely played in the G League. Then it was the D League back then. Like, didn't touch the floor. And the problem was not him. Like, he was not horrible. Like, he was just huge. He wasn't mobile. Like, you could not use him. All the other guys, I don't know their names, there was a chance, right? Like, there's a number of guys who spent time in the development league, the G League, made it in the NBA, have made big impacts. There's undrafted guys that have been great. Dorian Finney-Smith, a starting player. Satnam Singh had a 0% chance to ever touch an NBA floor. None. And that was the end. No, maybe not the end. That was near the end of the Mavericks just not caring about the draft. Like most of our, from 2000s, early 2000s to then, the Mavericks did not care about the draft. Draft and develop was not a thing. and this was like the exclamation point, an Indian player, first ever, who is never going to touch an NBA floor, barely touch a G League floor, a total bit. Mark Cuban trying to draw in international fans, I don't know. And Satnam Singh, like I called a bunch of Legends games over the course of 3 seasons. Got a chance to meet him walking out. Like I was walking to my car, he was walking to his car, and there was a stretch where we were walking next to each other. He actually said hello to me, introduced himself, like a very nice person. I wish him all the best. I hope he makes a lot of money doing wrestling. That said, the Mavericks, total bit, they did not care about the draft. And this is coming from a person, like the draft was more or less my job for a long time. Like I watched way too much basketball at the collegiate, level, international players. Like they could have gotten something that contributed in some way. Satnam Singh just didn't do that. I hate it. I'll always hate it. My number one thing that I hate, maybe other than just how the Mavericks have gone the past couple of years, wasting years of Luka, like, is it a ticking clock for that, right? But it was miserable, just miserable, and he never had a chance to touch an NBA floor, and that's what bothered me so much. Like if they wanted him, they could have just not drafted him and got him later, and instead they just wasted a pick. Throw it in the fire, let it burn up. So I hate that a lot.
A very, very fiery opinion. So that's where Nick hates it.
Now, I will say, like, could be a good addition for wrestling. Like, he is huge. Could be a cult hero kind of follow for some people. So maybe they've got something there. But basketball, it just never was for him.
Oh, all right. I can respect that. But yeah, I can't wait to see him on the AEW. I'm sure they'll have to train him up and all that. I don't.
Now, your son likes wrestling, right?
Yes. There's a pay-per-view tonight.
Does he care AEW? WWE? Like, does he have any? Like, does he have people that he likes, or does he just whatever it is, he'll watch it?
Well, a lot of his favorites have gone to AEW. We haven't watched any because we got rid of pretty much all his streaming services, so we can't watch it anymore. Now we do have Peacock, so we can watch the WWE pay-per-views on that. But yeah, so yeah, his Daniel Bryan's over there, or Bryan Danielson. I think the Bray Wyatt's headed over there. A lot of the big names that have carried WWE for the last 5 years, they released and they all went over to AEW.
Well, there you go. None of those names mean anything to me, but
you know what? And I don't want to get off on a wrestling tangent, but I've since my son's been into it, I've really looked at it. It is choreographed to a point. It is fake to a point, but it is not fake. Like, you ever listen to Mick Foley, who was Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love?
I just know. I've just heard of it. I don't.
So yeah, his most infamous moment is when he gets chokeslammed off the Hell in the Cell. And then they cart him off, like real EMTs cart him off because they think, and then because he's knocked out, he regains consciousness as they're taking up the ramp. He breaks free, runs to go finish the match, climbs back on top of this big cell, gets slammed through the cell, and if barely missed a fatal injury by inches, his tooth broke off through a hole in his lip and was stuck for 20 minutes of the match. He's got a tooth stuck in his lip. It's they knew who the winner was going to be, but I have I've gained more respect for that industry because those guys go out there and those things hurt. Yeah,
I'll probably look that up on YouTube when we're finished here.
It's intense. So, but that's my Satnam Singh talk. Let's get into you want to do news or tales from the Pizza Man?
Let's do some news.
All right, so explore or snore, as we do around here. I will read you a headline, and you will tell me it's interesting, and you want to explore, or if it's boring and you want to snore.
All right.
First up, from the AP News, Basta. Don't know what that means. Romans say enough to invasion of wild boars in city.
I'm going to say snore. we've done a lot of animal talk. We'll pass on the animals. Well, not like today in general.
Yes, in general, we do a lot of. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Okay, sorry. I'm missing a story. All right, moving on. Florida report. I have a Florida story, which are always fun. In Florida, Florida man tries to trade back a vehicle he stole.
We haven't done Florida in a while. Yeah, let's go ahead and explore that. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, but let's see if he got creative with this and see if he almost got away with it.
All right, so Lake City, Florida, a man tried to trade in a vehicle from the same dealership he stole it from.
Okay, that's even better. The same place. I thought, like when you read the headline, I thought he stole it from someone, but that's good.
From a dealership, yeah. Employees told officers that the man was trying to trade in his vehicle for a new one. When they checked the VIN, they saw that the vehicle was stolen from the dealership a few days later, or earlier.
Like, at least take it to another dealership, right? Unless you think you have like better odds to get it back to that one because it's like it's in their system. I don't know, but not super clever by this guy.
Yeah, and it is pretty straightforward. He admitted to stealing the vehicle and was charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle and criminal mischief. They just threw that one in for being a dummy.
What kind of jail time would he fine? Does it say?
No, it doesn't say. I mean, grand theft auto's a pretty big one. I think that's like a 5-year.
Yeah, I mean he's not enjoying himself either way. I mean, it's a lot of money or spending some time behind bars.
Yeah, and I mean that's a bold move. That's a bold move to think that you're going to get away with it.
I mean, impressive enough that he stole the car. Like, don't try to double down and take it back.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe he stole the wrong model. It's like, I sold Jeep and I really wanted a Ram, so I gotta see if I can.
Yeah, but, that's pretty funny.
All right, next is we have, let me get over here, court battle ends tree dispute in pricey San Francisco area.
Let's snore.
Snore, good. I don't really want to talk about rich people and their trees. All right, next is Las Vegas police find dozens of boa constrictors in home.
More animals. All these animals. We'll explore this.
All right. And a quick update. The Grand Prairie Cobra is still at large. Please tweet Nick Nepic if you do find, and he will go recover this.
It's gone, right? It's not here anymore. And it's also been like it's gotten like kind of cold, at least for snakes. I mean, I'm not a snake expert, but I would think like the low 50s is a little too cold for a snake. And who knows if it's not with us anymore? Rest in peace.
Yes, he's been an inspiration to us all. Back to our story, Las Vegas. Police find 30 boa constrictors in a home, and then determined that nothing was amiss.
So, my first question: why were they in the home?
This man apparently collects or deals boa constrictors. Yeah.
No. The police. Oh. Why were they there? Like, what prompted this?
Oh, okay. Investigators came across snakes Tuesday during an unspecified law enforcement investigation, and promptly called. So they didn't say why they were there, but upon the investigation, they find the snakes and called the animal control in Las Vegas, Clark County.
Okay. I guess there's no limit on how many snakes you can have.
No, and essentially it's they were in the proper cages, they were being cared for properly, they were being, everything was above board. It was just a very weird, it was more than they were expecting. But yeah. So they determined that everything was above, appropriate cages, appropriate environment for boa constrictors.
Good for this guy. Speaking of Las Vegas, I found we were talking about Teslas last week, and I found a guy on YouTube. A big thing is like being able to camp in your Tesla. Like it's got a camp mode, but he he called it stealth camping, but he stealth camped in a Las Vegas casino parking garage, like blacked out his windows and just stayed for free in his Tesla in the parking garage of a casino, which kind of impressive because there's like a camera on it so you can like see if security's coming by, and they have security that drives around, but he was like his windows are blacked out, and so he just slept in his Tesla and didn't have to pay to stay, and yeah. So stealth camping in a Tesla in Las Vegas, snakes everywhere, always something happening.
Yeah, I'm going camping in a couple of months. My kids joined Cub Scouts, some Boy Scouts. My youngest son and my youngest daughter and my son joined, so I'll be out camping in November. Yeah, that'd be fun.
What are your thoughts on camping in general?
It's okay in small doses.
I agree. Yeah. It like every once in a while when the weather's nice, like kind of like right now, like if it's in the 80s in the day, 50s, 60s at night, as long as you can sleep comfortably, it's not too bad. Like in the summer, it's rough because it's so hot at night. And then also if it's like really cold. But when the weather's nice, it's not bad. But like small doses, right?
Right. Last story is at 101, she's still hauling lobsters with no plans to stop.
I am snoring this. I'm done with the animals. Another animal in the story. I'm protesting. I will no longer explore animal stories unless it's the Grand Prairie Cobra. Rest in peace. I'm just assuming.
Really handcuffed me there. Like on the news, it's either fun animal stories or we're going to talk politics. So,
well, we haven't had politics in a while, so maybe we need to get back to it.
All right, I'll bring some in next week. So that's our news segment. We've already handled Nick Hates It. You ready for Tales from the Pizza Man?
Yeah, let's hear this. So this goes back to several shows ago, right?
Right. Tales. So yeah, I worked at a Domino's Pizza for many years, basically right out of high school, right before I joined the military. So 4, 5, 6 years, I worked at Domino's Pizza. Worked from driver all the way up to general manager. When I was a driver, I spent most of the time in the TCU store. And when I was at the Tarrant County, Texas Christian University, that's where I kind of hung out. I was friends with their quarterback, Marvin Godbolt. No, that was their safety, Hassel. Hassel was my friend. And I knew them, but that was my area. And anyway, it was a very affluent area. It was great to be a driver because you could make a few $100 a night pretty easily.
Tips, yeah.
Yeah. Some of those people you get some of those nice houses up there and they'll throw you $20, $30 for delivery fee or the tip. But I went to a delivery right behind the store, and you love those because it's a nice area. It's 2 minutes away. You're back, you get another order. So I knock on the door. This little kid answers. And he just looked devious. Dennis the Menace type. Or, one of those little kids, it's like, like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, in trouble.
So he's paying me. Like, I handed the pizza, and I tell him, whatever, $22.50, and he hands me, $25. I give him the change, and I can hear from the other room, grandmother, make sure you let so I hand him his change back, and I hear make sure you let him keep the change for the tip. The kid looks at me in the eye. He knows I hear it, closes his hand, and slams the door in my face.
And he probably kept that money.
Yes, I'm certain of it. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I was going through my head, like, should I just knock on the door and drop a dime on this kid? But I sat there, and I eventually walked away, because it's all about, speed through, get these deliveries in and out as fast as you can, and I leave, and then it really stuck in my craw that little kid looked me right in the eyes, no fear, no hesitation, slammed the door in my face. After we both hear, give the man, let him keep the change for the tip.
Now, when you were a driver, do you keep 100% of your tips, or is it like a tip share?
So it's 100% of your tips at Domino's anyway. Yeah, you keep, and you really you're not supposed to say this, but you only claim what you get on paper. So if it's written on a credit card or a check or something, that's all you ever claim. Anything cash, you say I didn't get tipped that.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. I've also heard like at restaurants, it's best to pay with a card, but then tip with cash.
Yeah, because they don't have. There's no. Yeah, they don't have to claim that unless they want to be like super honest. But there's no way to prove that you actually tip them if you do cash.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
how do you? Are you a big tipper? Or are you?
Yeah, so I always tip a minimum of 20%.
Okay.
Unless it's just horrible service, then I'll tip like 15. But I'm not the kind of person to tip like $1 on like a dinner tab or something. I realize in the service industry, people live off these tips. I mean, that's what they're making money off of. So I will always tip my server. I do not tip at a place where that's not always true. Almost always, unless it's a place I'm like a regular, like there's a place in Benbrook we go all the time, where you just walk up, order, and they bring you, like, there's no waiter. But I'll leave a small tip there. But like if I'm just walking up to a counter and they take my order and then I have to come back up, like get the food, like no one's serving me, I don't tip at those places. Or coffee shops, I don't tip there. If I have some change, I'll throw it in the tip jar if I have $1. But I'm not going to tip there personally.
Yeah, I'm a big tip just because it's, I was part of it for a while. I will tip the pizza man, any delivery guy really.
Oh yeah, I tip delivery. If we get delivery, I tip them well.
Yeah, because they actually and they started this after I became a manager, was whenever they clock out for a delivery, their pay rate changes. So when they're in the store working, they get minimum wage. When they clock out for delivery, they get paid like a waitress or waiter. They go down to the $3 an hour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of crummy, but nothing I could do about it. But that's Tales from the Pizza Man. And yeah, I have some banana facts, but I'm going to save those for next week.
Okay.
I want to firm those up. I know we talked about the banana clones, but it goes deeper. The banana.
Oh, man.
And they're more than one type.
Speaking of, we have some bananas that we haven't eaten. I'm hoping to get some banana bread out of those this week. Love a good banana bread, personally.
I tried to make banana chips with my 10-year-old, and it failed. I tried my air fryer, and then turned all soggy and mushy, and then I tried the oven, and it just turned into like rubbery, crispy, like burnt rubber. I did not do a good job.
Blame it on the bananas.
Blame it on the bananas. All right, and let's talk a little. So I tweeted you a meme of Kevin James from King of Queens. So that's the show I've been watching lately, and you mentioned it was a classic. Are you a King of Queens fan?
So, like, not historically, like, I didn't really watch it much, like, when it was in its prime, but since we've had a baby, like, when we were up all the time in, like, the early goings, and even in the hospital, we just happen to watch King of Queens all the time. And it's not like that it's that funny or, like, that it's, like, some great show, but it is a great show to just put on. And, like, you can enjoy it. Like, you don't have to focus, but it's enjoyable at the same time. It's easy. So I have become more of a bigger fan recently.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Just kind of watch it. It's the show I put on at night, and I'm just kind of laying in bed or on my phone messing around. I was shocked to see. First off, Jerry Stiller is a legend. So funny in that show. But never watching it, I always had this idea that Leah Remini, the wife on the show, Carrie, was just kind of like eye candy. She wasn't there for any real purpose, but she's very funny. I tend to find her pretty funny, but I find Kevin James always had annoying. Like, that comedy style is just like, okay, come on.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see it.
But it's not too bad, but yeah, I find the character of Arthur and Carrie to be pretty enjoyable, more so than I thought it would. So, and next week I will have a Venom 2 review.
Oh yeah. I mean, not to anyone's surprise who knows me at all, I am not a movie watcher, goer, seer. I haven't seen the first Venom, So now, is Venom like an anti-hero? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I can get into that. We did see, we usually like, what are you watching? We did see, wife and I saw Dear Evan Hansen this weekend, which is a movie based on a musical that my wife is obsessed with. Ben Platt is the main character. She loves him, listens to his music constantly. But if you're into musicals at all, even if you're not, really good story behind it. The songs are good. First time I've been in a movie theater since, maybe like February of 2020, January. I mean, it's been a long time. And we went like early Saturday, like at noon. And there was only like 5 other people in there. So it was very spread out. So we felt fine. But I don't know how I'd feel going to a packed movie theater. I think I'd still feel like a little nervous.
Yeah, we went to we've been going to the drive-in lately.
Okay, yeah, that's a great alternative. I'm sure drive-ins are doing well.
Yeah, but I do have a problem with drive-in, and maybe I could do an Adam hates it. I don't want to go off on every rant today, but it's good, but there's fundamental flaw. There's a reason they're a niche thing and not a mainstream thing anymore.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see what you think of the movie.
Yeah, and that's part of the bit. I know you don't like the comic movies, so I really want to whip you over the head with them.
That's fair. That's fair.
So let's end on some sports. We talked a little bit. Steelers lost. Anything surprising? Anything you want to talk about from the Week 3 slate of games?
Oh, the Chiefs lost 1-2. First time the Chiefs are under 500 since I think 2015, maybe 2016.
Just before Andy Reid.
Andy Reid also went to the hospital. Hope he's okay after the game. He didn't speak to the media. Yeah. The other big thing, the Rams dominated the Bucs. My LA Rams, they're my new team now. I've decided because the Steelers are terrible. It's going to be a long season. Yeah, it's going to be a long season for the Steelers. Send me gifts. I'll need them to get through this. But yeah, the Rams look great. Matt Stafford looks awesome in that Rams offense. Big win. But I think it feels like inevitable, like with Tom Brady, like big loss, September, NFC Championship game's going to come back around, and the Bucs are going to do the same thing to the Rams. Like it feels like that's going to happen. So that was significant. What else? The Raiders, just when we started recording, beat the Dolphins in overtime. They're 3-0. The Broncos are 3-0. The Seahawks lost to the Vikings.
What's up with that? They're killing my pick'em league.
Yeah, I think I had picked the Vikings and I went back and changed it this morning. So not a ton of surprises there. Justin Tucker had a 66-yard field goal to win the game. It shouldn't have happened. There was a delay of game before that, but he hit the field goal. And then also in the same day, the Cardinals tried like a 60-something yard field goal. It was short, and the Jaguars returned it for a touchdown. Jaguars still lost the game, so they're 0-3. I don't think Urban Meyer's going to last. By the way, he won't be there long. But overall, it was another great week of football outside the my poor Steelers. The Bills dominated the Washington football team for our NFC East notes, and the Giants are terrible. They lost again, 0-3.
To the Falcons, who I thought was the worst team in the league. Like, again, I picked the Giants to win that.
Uh-huh.
So,
but yeah, Cowboys Eagles tomorrow night too.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I saw there's this some writer from the Eagles put out like, did you know Jalen Hurts in his only Monday night game against the Cowboys threw for 340 yards and blah blah blah, all these stats, and then every Cowboys fan attacked him, but they lost by 20. What was the score, by the way? And it was just all the he got lambasted by Cowboys fans, rightfully so. Eagles just.
If I was a Cowboys fan, I'm not, so you can speak to this more. I wouldn't be nervous about tomorrow night. Like, the Eagles never play well here. I'm not a big believer in them overall. Like, I think Hurts is better than I thought he would be, but like the Dallas offense is really good. The defense is okay enough, at least for now. I mean, the Bucs, they weren't, but the Bucs are obviously very good. That was the first week of the season. I wouldn't be worried about tomorrow night personally.
I'm not, and yeah, Jalen Hurts is a little better than I thought he was, but I thought he was a like at best a backup. So it does say much, but yeah. Um, yeah, Eagles fans are some of the most. Never mind. I'm not going to talk bad about Eagles fans.
They'd be perfect for this podcast, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
The well below. I was trying the well below average thing. It didn't really work, but yeah,
I got it. I was agreeing.
Okay, I mean Pittsburgh, like the western part of Pennsylvania, way better than the eastern part of Pennsylvania. Like if you're going to visit, you shouldn't visit eastern anyway. But
it smells bad over there. But yes, that's all I have for this week. I want to thank Jonathan Shippy Shipman, for joining us. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter at Shippy Spins to find out where he'll be spinning at. He's up all night. Like, he lives the life. Like, that guy's out partying. You ever see his Instagram stories?
I actually don't know if I follow him on Instagram. I follow him on Twitter, but maybe I should follow him on Instagram too.
If you want to feel old, follow him on Instagram, and you'll see him out partying all night, and it's like, where did my life go? No. Follow him. Follow the show at Well Below AVG on Twitter, Well Below AVG Pod on Instagram. That will be actually in this area for most of the show. Follow Nick at Nick Nepic on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, follow Ish Beardman. That's me on Instagram. What else am I forgetting?
Our sponsors, Local Menace and Rodeo Coffee.
There you go, and keep an eye out for that giveaway. And we just want to thank everybody for listening, and please sub. Until we see you next time, stay above average.
Oh my god, that man is well below average.